All right, buddy, here we are. We are at 31,000 feet. We've just been instructed to descend to 19,000 feet. Flight level 310 down to flight level 190. Activate our vertical speed. We're about half an hour out by my math. But we have been instructed to descend. So where are we, you may ask? Well, you know, I turned on these overhead lights, but I don't actually think we need them. We are flying from Coeur to, that's Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo, to Edmonton. Yes, I'm going to see the Canucks. I know that's not their team, but it's one of our terms I think we use for Canadians. Still dealing with crazy headwinds. So it's been a longer flight than I anticipated. Been in the air for about an hour. Actually, maybe slightly less than that. This is my first post patch 5 video. Back a little more. My initial, I took off from Coeur d'Alene and had some major sensitivity issues on the flight stick. Took off just fine, but it was just really reactive. So I actually did not change any of the sensitivity issues in sim. I just adjusted my handling of it to sort of be on top of it, be a little more in control of it, because it's very different. I also have no rudder pedals. They're just non-responsive since the patch. They do, when you go to the controller page in sim, when I push the left rudder, push the right rudder, use the toe brakes, it all shows that it's working. I mean, it's reacting on the setup page, but in sim, I got bupkis. Anyway, I expect the flight to be about an hour and 20 minutes probably. But my point was that I took off from Coeur d'Alene, but it was so twitchy that I decided to circle back around to land and just try to take off again with a more cautious approach to the flight controller, because they clearly revamped the sensitivity of the flight controller, or the flight control surfaces, if nothing else. So we're flying north in real time. It's 3:41 Pacific Daylight Time. Just about to switch over to Standard Time, which I'm looking forward to. I'm an early riser, so I don't like it being dark until 7 o'clock in the morning. In any event, I don't know exact time zone for Edmonton. I've never been there. But based on where it is geographically, I suspect it's mountain time zone, which would mean it was +1. UTC showing 22:41, but that doesn't tell us much about the local time. But I believe it's 4:41 p.m. I'm showing us about 21 minutes at our current airspeed, 94 nautical miles. In any event, I'm a little hamstrung because the ForeFlight app, my subscription does not include Canada. So I would like to get the chart for ILS runway 30, which is the plan where we're approaching today. This is my first ILS approach in several days. I haven't flown the last 2 days, which has been killing me. I've been missing it, but I've been so busy at work that I just, by the time I get home, I just no time, or perhaps no energy on my part to do a flight. So today I finally finished a little bit early, and I was itching for a flight. But I think this will be our last flight in Canada because I need my approach plates on my ForeFlight app. But the weather's perfect, so, I mean, perfect. I mean, look at this. This is just 100 miles visibility, no joke. Not a cloud in the entire sky. Look around. Crazy. And that's good news. But anyway, if you've seen any of my other videos, you've noticed the PFD freeze that I've been dealing with, where all this freezes up until we get to our initial approach fix. We'll see. There was some commentary in the update notes that autopilot issues have been addressed. I'll believe it. 3285 there.
132.85 for Dr. Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Over to Edmonton Center, near Whiskey Bravo, with you at flight level 192 to flight level 190.
Laboratory 4 Trey Whiskey Bravo is out at flight level 195 for flight level 190.
Air November 34 Trey Whiskey Bravo, Edmonton Center. Continue to elevate as planned.
Anyway, we're leveling out now at 19,000, so we expect us to get further descent instructions. In any case, I've lost my train of thought again, but I figured this was a good opportunity to test whether or not this frozen PFD screen is still an issue post-patch 5, or whether it's been addressed, especially in as much as the weather's perfect. So even if it's a disaster, that is, that's not working, it's frozen, whatever, I'll just hand fly it in. No problem, no problem. We're landing at a big airport. It's going to have all sorts of useful information for us in terms of visual aids to navigation, happies and bossies, and so on and so forth. If you have been following the patch 5 developments over the last 24 hours, I guess I got lucky, although I'm knocking on wood right now. But my download went fine, smooth, issue-free. I've been playing now for this flight. Other than the goofy, oversensitive flight stick and my now non-responsive rudder pedals, my flight stick has a Z-axis, so I can still have control over the rudder. It doesn't have toe brakes, so I have to use the keyboard for that, which is a pain in the ass. But regardless, there's definitely a few quirky things that have shown up since the patch, but there's a lot of horror stories that I saw pop up on the boards in the last 24 hours.
Trey Whiskey Bravo descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
Down to 9,000 there.
Descend and maintain 9,000 feet number Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Okay, we'll scroll down to 9,000. Activate our vertical speed and initiate our descent. Just checking something on my ForeFlight app. It's acting a little weird on this flight. I don't know why. Just checking something. Stand by. It's by weird I mean that it's not showing my correct estimated time en route or my distance to destination. It's acting a little weird. In any event, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm making corrections to it by removing waypoints from the FPL, which I shouldn't have to do. I've never had to do, but no big deal. We'll figure it out. As I said, this is the perfect day to have issues. It's cold. It's cold out. but clear, just clear, beautiful day. I think they call that CAVU, ceiling and visibility unlimited. Yeah, 4-flight's working now. It's showing my distance to destination is decreasing. 68 nautical miles right now, just 16 minutes. This is interesting. Our we're at transition altitude, which means we're below 18,000. Nearest altimeter in inches of mercury is 2937. I'm a little skeptical about that, just because 2937 is very, very low pressure, and would generally be consistent with terrible weather. Let's switch it to 2937, and then let's press B and see what it goes to. 3014. So that either means that the 4-flight app is giving me incorrect information about the nearest altimeter. I was going to say it's a possibility that the weather in sim is not working, but I am seeing cloud cover out there. And our altimeter is 3014, and every time I've noticed bugs with the weather before, the altimeter just reverts to standard 29902, and there are no clouds anywhere. You can clearly see clouds out there and there. So it's funny, every time there's a patch in this goddamn game, it's like they solve one problem and create 10. So it's funny, they need more beta testers or something, because I don't really understand why that would happen. I do need to find the ILS frequency. I can find it in sim if I have to. CYEG ILS 30. What is that frequency? What's the frequency, Kenneth? You may not know what that is, but I do. Let's see. I really do need that, though, if I'm going to shoot an ILS approach. The problem is, every place you go on the internet, it's a pay site. Aha! I think I got it. Yep, I got it. Thank goodness for that. Okay, I found a chart. It's showing me that the ILS frequency is what, 109.1? 109.1? Sure, figure it out. Okay, and then I see, you see here where we are. Our approach has us going over Suvat Javon. Javon, you want to be at 5740. Let's write this down. 5740 at Zab. See Zab? Got to be at 3620. 3,620. Approach course is 300, so that's convenient. Missed approach, climb 4,400. 300. Heading. Looking for Edmonton airport elevation 2373. Approach course again 300. And ILS frequency runway 30 is 109.1. These Canuck charts are a little hard to read. They're not like the American ones. They're close, but they're a little bit different. Near as I can figure it, though, 109.1 is the ILS frequency. Yeah, that is. India Kilo Bravo. Yeah, that's it. So, let's go ahead and enter that real quick while we still have a chance. We're going to start getting busy here, friends. Navcom 109.1. 1091. All right. Set this on the PFD. Bearing 1. No data. Ruh-roh.
Air Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 8 miles southwest.
No, that explains it.
And maintain 5,000
All right, so we're going to Suvat. You see, Suvat transition. That's us.
Descend and maintain
Down to
5,000
5,000.
feet, speed below 210 knots.
I gotta slow down though.
Dallas runway
I'm going way
30
too
approach
fast.
via Suvat transition.
I mean, we weren't going way
Suvat
too fast, but now that we've gotten a D&E of 210.
3 Whiskey Bravo, contact Edmonton Center on 134.7.
Come on, slow it down.
134.7 for Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
My only other concern is that because we're going into International Airport and I have live
Edmonton
traffic,
Center, Docker November 34 Tree Whiskey Bravo is out of 13,300 feet
airspeed's
for
looking better now.
5,000 feet.
216 knots. I just don't want to have another situation like San Diego. If you remember our 3013, go and activate that. Not activate it, but adjust that. 3013. Anyway, if you remember our landing at San Diego Lindbergh Field a couple of weeks ago, or a week, I don't know, 10 days ago, it was a shit show because the live traffic was just over the top. There were 8,000 airplanes everywhere you looked, and it was just a hot mess. So, I hope I don't regret landing with real-time traffic. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Zoom in here a little more now that we're closing in. Getting a little light on the gas tanks. 24 gallons left, 25 gallons right. That's plenty. We've only got 10 minutes left in the flight, but we used more than I expected because of the headwind. Anyway, I was saying no data on the ILS. There's two reasons for that. I've entered the ILS frequency incorrectly, which I haven't, because that is the ILS frequency for this runway, 30, or we're not close enough yet. Showing 212 right now. They want us below 210, so slow us down just a little bit more. Get that airspeed down. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. Ah, look, nav 1 now showing India Kilo Bravo, IKB. That is the frequency for the ILS runway 30. So that's good. That's very good positive development. We're receiving radio information. Now the only question is, does the PFD freeze happen again until we get to the IAF? Whoa, holy Christ. If it does, I'm not concerned. I'm irritated, but I'm not concerned about our ability to land. That the sensitivity issues notwithstanding, I think I can probably adjust my handling of the flight stick such that we can accommodate modifications to the sensitivity of the flight control surfaces that are part of patch 5. You gotta be a quick study on that kind of stuff, but I think we can manage. That's weird. We got a tailwind all of a sudden. So that's what that sudden shift. I don't know if you noticed that big piece of chop that hit right there. Our airspeed is, or NOTS indicated airspeed has changed pretty significantly, and now we have a 20 knot tailwind. Yikes! Remember our IAF initial approach fix of Javon, we need to be at 5740. We're at 8650 right now, and Javon is just past that. We're just 3 minutes 48 seconds from Suvat, right? Ooh, I saw it froze up there for a second. I figured we were going to see TD. Anyway,
Edmonton approach Docker November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo is out of 8,200 feet for 5,000
winds are still a tailwind, 23 knots. Anyway, we can shallow out our descent rate because I just don't think we're going to have any problems getting down to 5,740 feet at Javon, in as much as that we're at 7,700 feet right now, and we're still 3 minutes 20 seconds from Suvat, and then another, I don't know, 90 seconds probably, 2 minutes to Javon. So we really don't have any issues on our ability to get to 5,700 feet. Not at all. Yeah, see, it's definitely not. There's the airport, by the way. It's, or I suspect it to be, because if you look, bump, bump. But from our perspective, straight. Right out this window. That's it. That's it. That's probably our runway right there. Or this one. We'll find out, I guess. Anyway, it's definitely not... it is importing current weather because the clouds wouldn't be there if it was a weather fuck up. It is a little mysterious, though, why that nearest METAR data was so dramatically different from in-sim weather. We may never know. We are getting glide slope available information. That cyan arrow right there is pointing in the direction of the ILS runway that we're headed towards. Showing now just 6.8 miles from Suvat, and that's less than 2 minutes. It's a little weird that they want us to descend to 5,000 feet, in as much as the approach chart seems to suggest that we need to be at 5,700 feet at Javon. So why they want us at 5,000 feet is just typical ATC bugginess. But it's fine, there's no mountains around here. They want us at 5,000 feet, we'll go down to 5,000 feet. We don't want them getting their panties in a twist. Trying to expedite our descent just because I'm eager to see if there's a PFD freeze. There hasn't been yet, which is interesting, but I shouldn't say. What a moron I am to even comment on that. We're getting within bird range, so I'm going to go ahead and activate our inertial separator. Once we make that left turn at Javon, right here, which, by way of point of reference, we'll make that turn when this cyan arrow is pointed at exactly 9 o'clock, that's when we'll make the turn. And then the cyan arrow will rotate to 12 o'clock from 9 o'clock. Just had a shift in the wind again, which is why that jerk, you see it's no longer a tailwind. Which I'm actually relieved, because if you notice... You see what I mean? This is the kind of shit they're just... Are they ever going to fix it? What did I say? What did I say? I said we don't need to be at 5,000. We need to be at 5,700. Fuck sticks. God damn it. So annoying. Anyway, now we'll climb to 5,700, and then they'll tell us to descend to 3,600. No, anyway, not a big deal. What I was trying to say, anyway, you see, as we make that left turn, this will rotate that way, indicating we're pointed in the direction of the runway. The winds, though, are now happen to be pointing at that same arrow that this is pointing at. This arrow right here is pointing in the same direction as that arrow, which means we're going to land straight into the wind, which makes me happy. Climbing up to 5,700 like they wanted. We got to hurry, I guess, just so they don't flip out or we don't cause some ATC bug. Cloudier up here than I expected. Man, did the weather change fast or what? There's our runway. Right there. I mean, seriously, did the weather change fast or what? I mean, how long ago was it we were looking out the window and it was clear as the eye could see? And now...
Delaware Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 1 tree mile southeast of Edmonton. Contact Edmonton Tower on 118.3 when inbound.
Alright, you see the dot here? We're going to make a... Switch this to... Nav1 and activate approach. Make that left turn. Start slowing this airplane down. See the green line? Alright, good. Wow, already grabbed the glide slope. Holy smokes, that was the smoothest freaking goddamn intercept I've had since I started this game. Like in August. Oh my god, that was like beautiful. That was beautiful. There it is. I see red and white on Vossies. I can't believe it. That was the most pleasant glide slope interception I've ever had. That was as textbook as it gets. Leads off. This is weird. No, we don't need it now. I guess we've been wearing oxygen masks the whole flight. Okay, let's go through gear fleet. Gear. Inertial separator's already activated. Flaps, 1 notch. Fuel, getting light. 21 left, 22 right. Lights. And we'll deactivate our yaw damper. Airspeed looks good. 124 knots. Acknowledge master caution on the yaw damper. I have been absolutely paranoid this entire flight about watching my landing gear. I had the most traumatic experience flying into Coeur d'Alene. I watched the video later and saw it. Accidental deployment of my landing gear 23 minutes into the flight. Didn't even notice it the whole time like an idiot. All right, here we go. I don't have any distance information right here in terms of how far we are from the airport, but I do have it on my ForeFlight app. I see that we're 8 nautical miles. Pop up in our seat here. It's like gonna be cloudy evening, but we're under the clouds, so, and it's chilly, -2 degrees Celsius, so we're flying the glide slope, but it does seem to have us a little bit low. If you see the red on the Vossi, and then this green diamond is a little bit high, and so it's autopilot on the glide slope, but it's flying us a little high. We got a hell of a headwind, 17 knots. This could be interesting. But let's go ahead and take over. Autopilot's disengaged. Deploy our last notch of flaps. Ugh. I've noticed that the trim is also much more sensitive. Wow. That is a heck of a wind. 16 knots right at us. We're like crawling. I mean, in reality, our ground speed is 67 knots. Can you believe it? God, it'd be faster than the jalopy. It makes sense. I mean, we're just headed into a very strong wind, and it makes us go slower. Our knots indicated airspeed's unchanged. Our true airspeed's fine, but our ground speed, our speed across the ground, is quite slow. 71 knots. I've given a little gas. Still showing 85, 86 knots on the knots indicated airspeed. Glide slope's looking better now. If you can catch that green diamond, I'll zoom in on it. That's moved down now. There we go. Got white and red on the Vossi now. Still the ground speed 75 knots. But I have to tell you that we're right over Zab right now. Remember Zab, we want to be at 3620, and we're at 3780. But I'm still seeing red and white on the Vossi, so we're good.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo, cleared to land runway 30. 12905 at 27.
The very least, 2905. And what'd she say?
Clear to land runway 30, Docker Tree Whiskey
27. Yeah, that's the gust. That's not the sustained wind, because the sustained wind is 17. See it right there on the PFD, now 16. I can't zoom in on it because I've got my hands full. In any case, I've noticed, I've speculated on this before, that the ATC imports the gust speed, not 2 mile final, not the sustained wind speed. But that's fine, no big deal. Cloudy day though, cold and cloudy. Temperature 0 outside, 32 degrees. Water looks good since the patch. Water looks real good. Actually, all the graphics look fantastic. 16 knot wind right at us. Glide slope looks good. Oh, man, I wish you could feel what I'm dealing with on my flight stick. Man, fighting it. Lots of trimming going on. Look at that water. That is really good looking water. That looks great. It's all windy too. You can see it's getting blown by the wind. Okay, hold on. Sorry. I'm sorry. I had to look out the window. Couldn't help it. Ugh. God, I'm fighting this stick. Constantly having to trim it. That may not be entirely unrealistic. Especially when it's windy like this. 500 AGL. And sure enough, our approach course 300 exactly, just like it said on that pirated approach plate I found. Re-verify 3 in the green, yes. Parking obviously off to the right. Gotta get that speed down though. There we go, that's better. Got red over white on the Vasi again. Interesting how it's responding very differently since the patch. Doing a lot of manipulation of the controls, way more than I'm used to. In terms of throttle, thrust, or throttle and trimming. Runway 30 confirmed. We're right on the center line. Get our approach speed down a little bit more. Looking good. Airspeed's perfect. Idle. Ooh, wow, the winds. Oh, come on, flare. Flare, flare, flare. Airspeed 72. Oh, that was sweet. That was a butter landing. That was a butter landing if I've ever seen one. So anyway, we're here on the ground, and yeah, I'm using my pedals. Nothing's happening, so can't account for it. Go ahead and zoom in here. There we go. We don't want to turn at that first taxiway because, as you can see it, we'd have to make a big sharp right turn to go backwards. So we'll just taxi up to this one. It's so windy that we slow down pretty fast. Not really fast, actually. Bring our flaps in once we get off the runway. I'm working on it, sweetheart. I don't like this. They need to get rid of this. I should be able to have taxi ribbons without having some annoying goddamn thing floating all over the screen. I've not seen that before. That's post-patch. Come on. Wow. But cold out, 2 degrees now, and cloudy. I'm already ready to go back to the States. Alright, here we'll make our right turn. Cleared the runway.
Turn next taxiway.
Sweetheart, you need to settle the fuck down.
Whiskey Bravo, contact ground on 121.7.
Okay, so we'll stop. We'll bring in our flaps. Flaps are retracted.
121.7 Whiskey Bravo.
Keep that inertial separator on. Let's get our light on here. It's getting kind of dark out. Switch to taxi lights. Pulse lights off. Ugh. God, bouncing around a lot. Edmonton ground. 121.7. Taxi to parking.
Edmonton ground.
Pretty lights.
Whiskey Bravo,
Lights look great. Really good.
November 343 Whiskey Bravo taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha.
All right.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
So I'm having to use my flight stick right now for rudder control. Normally I would be using my pedals. My pedals work perfectly. I was perfectly happy with my pedals. Oh, I can't use, I need toe brakes. I use the keyboard for toe brakes, which blows. Alright. It's better than nothing, I guess, but I don't like to have to do it. It definitely imbues a sense of realism to, you know, take your hand off the flight stick and steer with your feet. I mean, that's what I like. But when they patch it in a way that makes it so it's impossible to use your rudder pedals. I guess that's what I mean. I mean, I'm not as grouchy as I see a lot of people on the boards are. I mean, it's really knives out with some people. I mean, they're like pitchforks and torches. I'm not that bad. I mean, I still think this game's remarkable. It's still relatively stable for me. It's got its bugs. It's got issues. I mean, I'll admit it. But I could see how if your experience was much less stable, you're constantly dealing with bullshit, crash to desktops, etc., you'd be a lot less patient than I am. But for me, it's been okay. But there are little things that are annoying. Like, why would you do a patch that wrecked a person's ability to use his rudder pedals? I mean, that's kind of odd, right? Seems like a weird thing to do. But what are you going to do? It's a minor thing. Obviously, not having rudder pedals is not a minor thing, but I know they'll fix it, or I know there's a fix out there. I just have to go and sniff around on the boards and find the fix and how to, you know. I have noticed, and it seems like a lot of people have trouble with add-on software. Like it's their add-on software is what complicates things. I don't put anything on my sim. Nothing. No third-party software. Now, other than scenery, I've added 2 airports, San Diego and Santa Barbara. Other than scenery, which is much less problematic, nothing. I don't put anything on. Because, first of all, it causes problems, fucks it up, but then, even more importantly, when they do a patch, oh, then you got all these backwards compatibility issues, and there's this issue, and there's that issue, and it's one thing after another. So I don't screw around with it. Maybe I'll add third-party software, but not until the platform gets much more stable, which it's not right now. I hate having to use my flight stick to brake. Toe brake keyboard. It's kind of funny, but oh well. Hey, but you know what? Most importantly, all kidding aside, this was a crash to desktop free flight. An hour and a half, not insignificant. Where's Gary? Oh no, where do they want us? What the? How do they want me to make this turn? What? They want me facing out? Oh, I see him. I got him. Okay, he's off there on my left. Dude, you better move your ass. Let's use our toe brakes. There he is. Oh boy, this is going to be a tight. Boy, could you get me any closer to the building? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, I'll take that. Okay, activate parking brake. Let's go outside and see how close we came to this fucking building. Acknowledge that. Let's cut our engine. Fuel selector off. Acknowledge alarm. Master caution. Deactivate aux BP. Oof, man, I can't see anything. Aux BP. Fuel selector. And normally I'd depressurize, but I think somehow that got lost in all the excitement back in Coeur d'Alene. Luckily we had oxygen on board. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see, is that off? Yeah. Okay, so let's check it out here real quick. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's that, about 36 inches? I'm definitely going to need pushback when it's time to get out of here. I love it. Oh, look, somebody's on final. That was me a few minutes ago. Airport looks beautiful. Sky looks incredible. Wow. Gorgeous. Holy mackerel. Trees look fantastic. Yeah, scenery-wise, I'm not complaining. Still got our issues to deal with. I need my rudder pedals back. I will confess that. But on the whole, ended up being a nice flight up to Edmonton. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, thank God, after this week, I'm going back to the States. Pronto. No offense, Canada. That's it. We're out of here. Have a good weekend.